Welcome to our deep dive into the fascinating world of animal genetics and evolution. Today, we'll explore how animals inherit traits, the mechanisms driving evolution, and much more. The world of genetics is a vast and intricate tapestry, woven with the threads of DNA, genes, and alleles. It's a journey that takes us from the tiniest molecular structures to the grand, sweeping changes that shape entire species over millennia. Imagine the endless possibilities encoded within the DNA of every living creature. The story of life itself is written in these genetic sequences, passed down from generation to generation. Whether it's the vibrant plumage of a peacock, the stealthy camouflage of a chameleon, or the towering neck of a giraffe, each trait tells a story of survival, adaptation, and evolution. These traits are not mere accidents but the result of complex genetic mechanisms that scientists continue to unravel. Stay tuned for a comprehensive and enlightening journey through the science of life. We'll delve into the brilliance of Charles Darwin's theory of natural selection, uncover the wonders of genetic mutations, and marvel at the unique adaptations that allow animals to thrive in their environments. This is a story of resilience, ingenuity, and the relentless march of evolution. So, sit back, relax, and prepare to be amazed by the wonders of animal genetics and evolution. How do animals inherit traits from their parents? In the world of genetics, the inheritance of traits is fundamental. DNA is the molecular blueprint for all living organisms. DNA is composed of nucleotides, forming genes. Animals pass on their genetic material to their offspring. Alleles come in pairs, one from each parent. Traits like a butterfly's wings or zebra's stripes result from allele combinations. Mendelian genetics from Gregor Mendel's work explains inheritance. Chapter 2. What is natural selection and how does it drive evolution? Natural selection drives evolution by favoring advantageous traits. Articulated by Charles Darwin, it explains how traits become common over generations. Traits that enhance survival and reproduction are passed on. This process leads to adaptation and biodiversity. Chapter 3. Examples of convergent evolution in animals. Convergent evolution is a fascinating phenomenon where unrelated species evolve similar traits independently, often in response to similar environmental pressures. This remarkable process highlights the creativity of evolution, as different lineages arrive at similar solutions to common challenges. One of the most striking examples of convergent evolution is the development of wings in bats and birds. Despite their different evolutionary histories, both groups have evolved the ability to fly, showcasing the power of natural selection to shape similar adaptations in diverse species. Consider the streamlined bodies of dolphins and sharks. Dolphins are mammals, while sharks are fish, yet both have evolved sleek, torpedo-shaped bodies that allow them to move efficiently through water. This similarity is a result of the similar selective pressures faced by both groups in their aquatic environments, where streamlined bodies reduce drag and enhance swimming speed. Another compelling example is the evolution of echolocation in bats and dolphins. Both species use high-frequency sound waves to navigate and locate prey, despite their vastly different habitats and evolutionary paths. This convergence on echolocation demonstrates how similar environmental challenges can lead to the evolution of analogous traits in unrelated species. Chapter 4. How do genetic mutations affect animal populations? Genetic mutations are the raw material of evolution, introducing new genetic variations that can have profound effects on animal populations. Mutations are changes in the DNA sequence that can occur spontaneously during cell division or as a result of environmental factors such as radiation or chemical exposure. While many mutations are neutral or even harmful, some can confer advantageous traits that enhance an organism's fitness. Mutations can occur in various forms, including point mutations, insertions, deletions, and duplications. Point mutations involve a change in a single nucleotide, while insertions and deletions involve the addition or removal of nucleotide sequences. Duplications result in the copying of entire segments of DNA, leading to an increase in genetic material. Each type of mutation can have different effects on an organism's phenotype, the observable traits that result from the interaction of its genotype with the environment. One of the most well-known examples of beneficial mutations is the development of antibiotic resistance in bacteria. When a bacterial population is exposed to antibiotics, most of the bacteria may be killed, but a few individuals with mutations that confer resistance may survive and reproduce. Over time, these resistant bacteria can become the dominant strain, rendering the antibiotic less effective. This example illustrates how mutations can drive rapid evolutionary change in response to environmental pressures. Chapter 5. Examples of animals with unique genetic adaptations. The natural world is replete with examples of animals that have evolved unique genetic adaptations to thrive in their environments. These adaptations are the result of countless generations of natural selection acting on genetic variation, leading to the development of traits that enhance survival and reproduction. One of the most striking examples is the Arctic fox, which has evolved the ability to change its fur color with the seasons. In the winter, its fur turns white to blend in with the snowy landscape, while in the summer, it becomes brown to match the tundra. This remarkable adaptation provides effective camouflage, helping the Arctic fox avoid predators and hunt more efficiently. Another fascinating example is the giraffe's long neck, which allows it to feed on leaves high up in trees that other herbivores cannot reach. This adaptation not only provides access to a unique food source, but also reduces competition with other grazing animals. The giraffe's long neck is supported by specialized vertebrae and a powerful cardiovascular system that can pump blood to its head, illustrating the intricate interplay of genetic adaptations that enable this species to thrive. The electric eel is another example of a unique genetic adaptation. This remarkable fish has evolved specialized cells called electrocytes that generate electric charges, allowing it to produce powerful electric shocks. These shocks are used for hunting prey, self-defense, and communication. Chapter 6. How do new species of animals evolve? The evolution of new species, or speciation, is a fundamental process that drives the diversity of life on Earth. Speciation occurs when populations of a single species become reproductively isolated from one another, leading to the accumulation of genetic differences that result in the emergence of distinct species. This process can take millions of years and involves a complex interplay of genetic, ecological, and behavioral factors. One of the primary mechanisms of speciation is geographic isolation. When populations are separated by physical barriers such as mountains, rivers, or oceans, they are unable to interbreed. Over time, genetic differences accumulate as each population adapts to its unique environment. This divergence can eventually lead to reproductive isolation, where individuals from different populations can no longer produce viable offspring. An example of this is the Galapagos finches, which evolved into multiple species after being isolated on different islands. In addition to geographic isolation, speciation can also occur through ecological isolation, where populations occupy different ecological niches within the same environment. For example, two populations of insects might specialize in feeding on different types of plants, leading to differences in behavior, morphology, and reproductive timing. These ecological differences can reduce gene flow between populations and promote the evolution of new species. Behavioral isolation is another important factor in speciation. Differences in mating behaviors, such as courtship rituals, vocalizations, or pheromone signals, can prevent interbreeding between populations. Chapter 7. The main differences between artificial and natural selection. Artificial selection and natural selection are two distinct processes that drive the evolution of traits in living organisms. While both involve the differential reproduction of individuals with certain traits, the key difference lies in the agent of selection. In natural selection, the environment determines which traits are advantageous and therefore more likely to be passed on to future generations. In contrast, artificial selection is driven by human preferences and interventions. Artificial selection has been practiced for thousands of years, particularly in agriculture and animal breeding. Humans selectively breed plants and animals for desired traits, such as larger fruits, higher milk production, or specific coat colors. This process involves choosing individuals with the desired traits to reproduce, thereby increasing the frequency of those traits in the population. An example of artificial selection is the domestication of dogs, where humans have bred different breeds for specific purposes such as hunting, herding, or companionship. In natural selection, the environment exerts selective pressures that influence which traits are advantageous. For example, a predator's ability to camouflage or a prey's ability to run fast can determine their survival and reproductive success. These traits are shaped by the complex interactions between organisms and their environments, leading to the evolution of adaptations that enhance fitness. Unlike artificial selection, natural selection operates without human intervention and is driven by the natural dynamics of ecosystems.